Hello, my name is Fusuo Zhang. Today, I would like to give talk on nitrogen losses in global orchard system, a review. I will talk in following three parts. The first part is global orchard system and nitrogen impact. The second part will be quantify orchard nitrogen losses at global scale. The last part will be Chinese cases to reduce orchard nitrogen losses. Fruit is one of the major parts of healthy diet. Actually, people spend more than 20% of the money to buy healthier fruits for their healthy diet. And fruit consumption increased by 7.67% in recently 5 years. That means fruit become more and more important for human health. Fruit production is continuously increased compared to 2018. In 2000, the area from 2000 to 2018, the area of orchard increased by 20%. The total fruits, except melons, production increased by 52%. The proportion of orchard in agriculture land increased by 24%. That means the orchard area expanded in last years. The production of major fruits are mainly citrus, banana, apple, grapes. From 2000 to 2019, citrus, banana, apple, and grape production increased by 48%, 74%, 48%, and 21% respectively. Asia has a large area of orchards. Fruit production is mainly concentrated in Asian and American countries. China occupies about 23% of the total orchard globally, followed by India with 10.8%. Compare to the history from 1965 to 1990 to 2050, the global fruit production increased trade tell us that the global fruit production will increase by 35% by 2050. Global fruit consumption will also be increased too, because even in some developing countries, age-specific group eat much less than recommended amount of fruits. Developing countries also need to increase their consumption of fruits and vegetables. Fruit production faces the great challenges. Actually, the orchards consume about 15% of global nitrogen fertilizer. In orchard, the NPK input by farmers are always 2 to 3 times higher than recommended by experts. And fruit consumption will increase by 35%. Therefore, the question is, how much nitrogen do we still need to meet demand of the increased consumption of fruits? And what will happen if the nitrogen fertilizer consumption still increase? we know that nitrogen fertilizer improve the fruit yield and quality, but if you overuse of the nitrogen, you will decrease the fruit yield and fruit quality. You will have a negative impact from overuse of nitrogen fertilizer. Global orchard system is one of the systems consume lots of nitrogen and bring negative impact from overuse of nitrogen. We know that nitrogen consumption globally increased very much. That has enormous environment and ecological negative impact. Question is, how much is that in the global orchard system? We do not know, we do not have any data. We know that orchard system has very high greenhouse gases footprints. Some data summarized here show that the global warming potential from fruit production is much higher compared to vegetable and cereal crops. Therefore, we need to look at orchard system, whether the nitrogen application has negative impact on the environment aspect. What is the pathway of nitrogen losses in the global orchard system? Globally, nitrogen is the major contributor to the environmental footprint. For example, in China, because of overuse of nitrogen fertilizer, we suffer from surface water eutrophication and also soil acidification, and we have the negative impact on crop production and quality of agro products. Therefore, we want to know on global scale, how is the nitrogen impact on fruit? Therefore, we try to quantify orchard nitrogen losses at global scale. We collected data from international publication. We are able to get 81 research sites which published from 2000 to 2020, and compared to cereals and other crops, the experimental data from fruit research is much limited. For example, we could get 10 times more research results from cereals compared to fruits, but we only get 81% research sites. The total literature about nitrogen losses in cereal and vegetable reach 12,000 and 3,000. They are 390 times more than the fruits results. Anyhow, use this 81 research results, we are able to do evaluation of orchard nitrogen losses pathway at global scale. On average, at global scale, the nitrogen input in the orchard was 272 kilogram nitrogen per hectare per year. Nitrogen leaching is the major factor for losses and contributed to 80.6%, followed by runoff, which is 2.8%, and ammonia volatilisation, about 2.6%, and N2O emission, that is 1.5%. The total percentage of nitrogen losses from applied fertilizer was 25%. The apparent nitrogen surplus in orchard system was 150 kilo per hectare per year. In average, account for 57.7% of applied nitrogen fertilizer. The nitrogen use efficiency in the orchard was only 70%. This is rather low. Nitrogen losses increase with nitrogen fertilization amount in the orchard. From this figure, we can see that nitrogen leaching was greatest loss pathway, followed by N2O emission, ammonia volcanisation, and nitrogen runoff respectively. Nitrogen losses is positively correlated with nitrogen fertilizer in the global orchard. The N2O emission, ammonia volcanisation, and nitrogen leaching, they are all positively correlated with use of nitrogen rates. Compared to cereal crops, the pattern of the losses a little bit differences, but the relationship is the same now. Nitrogen runoff is not correlated with nitrogen fertilizer input. The reason is because by runoff, we have many different affecting factors, like different slopes, mulching or without mulching, different mulching material, and different fertilization method. Nitrogen oxide emission factor is larger in the orchard compared to vegetables and other crops. In orchard, the N2O emission factor is 1.46, but in other systems, they are lower than this data. Ammonium volatilization is lower in the orchard. It's about 2.57%. This may be because the fertilization method in the orchard, normally the farmer use fertilizer into soil. Therefore, the ammonium losses become lower. Nitrogen losses increase significantly with the increase of nitrogen input. From the major pathway of nitrogen losses, all the data show that if the nitrogen fertilizer be overused, that will result in severe nitrogen losses. Nitrogen losses varies among crop types. We compare deciduous and even green type of the fruits. We see different patterns for these two different crop types. Nitrogen losses in the orchard in the developing countries is higher than in developed country. The main reason is because in the developing country, farmer normally overuse of nitrogen fertilizer. Therefore, the nitrogen losses rate is higher in the developing country. Asian is the highest losses area in the orchard system. Compared to developed country, China, India, normally the nitrogen losses are higher because the nitrogen application rates, is higher in this area, and also the improper use of fertilizer very often happens in this area. Therefore, Asia become the highest losses area in the orchard system. In the next part, I would like to give some Chinese cases how to reduce orchard nitrogen losses by farmer. Actually, compared to cereals and vegetable and other crops, the nitrogen input in fruits is much higher than other crops. And also the surplus of nitrogen in the field scale of the fruit field is higher than cereals, vegetable, and other crops. In China, the average nitrogen input and nitrogen surplus in fruit crops were 525 kilo and 421 kilo per hectare. Current nitrogen use efficiency in the fruits of China is much lower. It's about 24%. Compared to the international optimal system, we have about 67% of gaps. That means we are able to reduce nitrogen input in the orchard and increase nitrogen use efficiency by 67% as a potential. In order to improve farmers' nitrogen use efficiency, reduce nitrogen losses in the orchard, we established village-based size technology backyard system in China. We go to village, working with farmers together, transfer our technology, and use better products to reduce nitrogen losses in the orchards. The first case is reduce nitrogen losses in citrus orchard in Danling County. Danling County is a typical citrus produce area. The productivity is rather high. Therefore, we try to transfer our technology to farmer to reduce nitrogen input and reduce nitrogen losses in the field. Actually, in this area, the average input of nitrogen fertilizer by farmers is 847 kilo per hectare. It's much, much higher. And we made a farmer survey, know how much farmer use in the field and what kind of fertilizer they use, how they apply nitrogen fertilizer in the field. Then we choose the best farmer. We redesigning the new fertilizer. We call that citrus-specific fertilizer for this village. And we use the local better fertilizer and local recommendation to improve the farmers' practices and to reduce losses. The result is very attractive. The local recommendation had a higher fruit yield and nitrogen use efficiency. The citrus yield with local recommendation treatment was about 50%, up to 50% higher than farmers' practices. And actually, the fertilizer input by local farmer decreased by up to 30%. The local recommendation also result in lower environmental costs. We look at the greenhouse global warming potential and so on. They reduced by more than 30%. The case 2 is reduced electricity losses in pominal orchard in Pinghe County. In Pinghe County, the pominal production is dominant, but the electricity use is improper in this area. On average, the electricity input is 12,006 kilo per hectare. It's much, much higher compared to other countries. Therefore, we try to quantify the electricity losses in the field. We found that the electricity use efficiency is only 8%. If we are able to improve our system, we are able to increase efficiency, improve the yield and the quality, and so on. Therefore, we also reduce the electricity losses and reduce carbon footprint in farmers' field very much. The one of the method is we increase magnesium input, but reduce nitrogen, phosphor, potassium input. Farmers use too much nitrogen, phosphor, potassium. Magnesium deficiency is popular. We use balanced fertilization technology. We are able to reduce nutrient losses and improve the quality and reduce the emission of greenhouse gases in the field tremendously. Farmers make bigger progress. At the beginning, this farmer used 8 kilos per tree, but now he just used 1 kilo per tree. He's able to improve the yield, quality, and environment at the same time. The last case is reduced electricity losses in apple orchard in China. In the apple orchard, farmers also overuse of nitrogen. The quality of apple become poor, and also lots of physiological disorders happens in the apple. We develop apple-specific fertilizer and best nutrient management technology. By use all this technology, we are able to reduce nitrogen input by 28%. We'll increase yield by 30% and improve the fruit quality significantly. I would like to make a short summary. Nitrogen loss is higher in the orchard system globally. Nitrate leaching is a major pathway of nitrogen losses in the orchard. Potential to reduce nitrogen losses in orchard is huge, especially in Asia countries like China. Under national policy of agriculture green development in China, case study demonstrate that optimized nitrogen management in the orchard could simultaneously realize high fruit yield, better quality, high resources use efficiency, and less environmental costs. This study are very limited from data. In future, we need to pay more attention to the losses of nitrogen in the global orchard. And we need to make innovation on fruit-specific efficient fertilizer and best nutrient management technology in order to maintain yield and improve quality of the fruits and improve the environmental quality. Thank you very much.